In the small quiet town of Hollow Creek, Emily Carson, an ambitious young journalist, had always felt out of place. Born and raised in the bustling city, she had come to this remote town searching for a fresh start, something quieter, away from the chaos of urban life. But what she found was a story far darker than she could have ever imagined. Emily had been investigating a series of old unsolved murders from the 1950s, all tied to a shadowy figure known only as the Silent Shadow. The killer's identity had remained a mystery for decades, and the town had quietly brushed the murders under the rug. Everyone had moved on, except Emily. She became obsessed with uncovering the truth behind the deaths, determined to bring the killer to justice. But she quickly realized that there was more to these cases than anyone had been willing to admit. Emily's persistence led her to the town's most powerful families, those who controlled Hollow Creek, who had built its wealth, and who seemed to have a hand in everything that happened there. She found unsettling patterns between the unsolved murders and the town's elite, connections that seemed to go back decades. What Emily didn't know was that she was digging into something far more sinister than a series of cold cases. She was uncovering a conspiracy, a deep-rooted, horrifying truth about the families that ruled Hollow Creek. The night before she disappeared, Emily sent her editor a cryptic text. "They know what I know, and they're coming for me." The message was chilling. The next morning, Emily's car was found abandoned on the side of the road, her purse and phone left behind, but there was no sign of struggle, no sign of where she had gone. She had simply vanished. The investigation into her disappearance was swift but disorganized. Police questioned everyone Emily had been in contact with, but no one knew anything. Her research into the cold cases had made her several enemies among the town's powerful figures, but no one could pinpoint a suspect. The case seemed to be going nowhere until a breakthrough came. Emily's research notebook was found in a dumpster behind a local diner. The pages were filled with cryptic notes, photos, and a list of names, most of them tied to Hollow Creek's most influential families. At the bottom of the list was a single word: the vault. The vault, Emily had written it several times, but there was no explanation of what it meant. Was it a clue to a hidden location? A metaphor for something more sinister? No one knew. But the discovery of the notebook sent the investigation in a new direction. As the police dug deeper into the case, they uncovered strange details that only added to the mystery. Emily had been in contact with a retired detective, Henry Holt, who had worked on the original murder cases decades earlier. Holt had warned her to stop looking into the past, telling her that some things were better left buried. He had even asked her to meet him in secret to discuss what she had found, but she never showed up to the meeting. Holt was now missing too, his home empty and his phone disconnected. Something wasn't adding up. Days turned into weeks, and then into months. Emily's case began to grow cold, but the unanswered questions lingered like a dark cloud over Hollow Creek. The town's residents, once eager to forget the past, now whispered in fear, unsure of what Emily had discovered and what had become of her. The deeper the investigation went, the darker the secrets became. Then came the twist. Someone came forward with a new piece of evidence. A local woman, named Sylvia, claimed to have seen Emily the night she disappeared. She had been walking home from her job at the diner when she noticed a black car parked near the woods. As she passed, she saw a woman inside the car, someone who looked just like Emily. Sylvia had no idea who was in the car with Emily, but the car sped off into the night before she could get a good look at the other occupant. But that wasn't the most shocking part. Sylvia revealed something even more unbelievable. Just months before Emily's disappearance, Sylvia had worked as a cleaner at the town's largest estate, the home of the most powerful family in Hollow Creek, the Hargraves. One night, while cleaning the family's study, she had stumbled upon a hidden compartment behind a bookshelf. Inside, she found a file labeled the Vault. It contained documents that connected the Hargraves to the town's darkest secrets. Not only were they involved in the original murders, but they had also played a role in orchestrating the disappearance of several other journalists who had tried to investigate the town's past. Sylvia's revelation was the key that unlocked everything. As the investigation unfolded, it became clear that the murders from the 1950s were not just random acts of violence. They were carefully orchestrated by the town's elites, whose families had been involved in corrupt dealings, political cover-ups, and even organized crime. The vault held the evidence of all their dirty secrets, and it seemed that Emily had uncovered it all. In a shocking twist, the sheriff of Hollow Creek, a man named Lawrence Cooper, was revealed to be the mastermind behind the cover-up. The sheriff had been part of the original conspiracy to silence those who got too close to the truth. Emily had uncovered this, and that's why she had been silenced. But Cooper's downfall was imminent. He had been so careful for so many years, but Emily's research had exposed everything. As the investigation went on, it became apparent that Emily's disappearance wasn't the only one. There had been other journalists, other outsiders who had come to Hollow Creek looking for answers, only to vanish under mysterious circumstances. It wasn't just the murders of the 1950s that had been buried, it was a whole history of corruption, deceit, and murder, all leading back to the Hargrave family and their allies. Just when it seemed the investigation was about to come to a close, another shocking revelation surfaced. Emily Carson was alive. She had been hiding, living in secret, watching as the truth unfolded. The authorities were shocked. Emily had staged her own disappearance to protect herself from the very people who wanted to stop her. She had left the clues, the messages, the cryptic notes as a way to draw the authorities into the truth, but she had been forced to vanish to stay alive. The final twist? The vault wasn't just a physical location, it was a digital archive hidden deep within the Hargrave estate, containing recordings, documents, and confessions from decades of corruption. The town's most powerful families had used the vault as their insurance, keeping it hidden away, knowing that anyone who found it would be silenced. But Emily had found it, and in doing so, she had unlocked a Pandora's box that no one could ever close again. The people of Hollow Creek would never be the same. The truth was out. The powerful families that had controlled the town for generations were exposed, and their empire of lies crumbled. But the price of the truth was steep. Emily Carson's name would forever be remembered as the woman who uncovered Hollow Creek's darkest secrets, and lived to tell the tale. If you're captivated by this chilling tale of secrets, corruption, and mystery, then you're in the right place. The world of crime in the dark is full of gripping stories, shocking twists, and the most mind-bending true crime investigations. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications.